Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mary and welcome to another Craft Day Wednesday, where every Wednesday I post a new video. In today's video, I am going to be finishing up the Jeep that I started Monday. And this is what we was working with. And this is going to be part 2 to the part 1. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and turn my camera down so we can just get right back into the video. In part 1, I've already mentioned the measurements and what you're going to need. So, yeah, I'm just going to turn the camera down and we're just going to get into the video. So, I'm just going to set this to the side. As you can see, I did change up a couple things. Once I got the cardboard Jeep built and put together, I had everything green. So I wasn't really liking all the green, so I went ahead and covered that green with black felt, but you can leave it any way you want to. But yeah, this is what I did. I went ahead and covered it with black felt. And so now what we're going to do today, what today's video is we're going to, I'm going to set this one to the side for a minute. So in today's video, we're going to be adding the seats. We're going to be adding the little antenna in the back. We're going to be adding the little mirrors. And yeah, so let's just go ahead and get right back into the video. So I am going to bring this one back. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make the bumpers for the front and the back. And what I did with that was I just basically took me a piece of cardboard and I cut out just a little strip. You could have this as wide as you like. And I basically just measured to see if it's going to be a good fit, and I like the way it looks. So I went ahead and I cut out 3. So I'm just going to take these. And I'm just using one as a guide. And I did this 3 times. And once I cut the 3 out, because you're going to need 3. You're going to need one for your front, one for your back, and we're also going to need one that's going to go across here. That's going to be your dashboard where we're going to stick your steering wheel in your radio. So once you have your 3 strips of cardboard cut out, you're going to take, let's peel this off. So you're going to peel this off, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to wrap these in the felt, and you're going to cut them out. And once you do that, this is what you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with 3 pieces. And one is going to go in the front, one's going to go in the back, and one is going to go for your dash. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my Jeep back. I'm going to go ahead and stick my first one back here. So it's going to go right there. So grab some hot glue. Put some hot glue right down the middle of it. And we're just going to go ahead and stick that right here. And I'm going to turn it facing me so I can make sure that it's nice and even. So we have our first one on. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take my second one and we're going to put this in front, and I need to turn it facing me so I can make sure that it's straight and not crooked. Now we're going to put some hot glue across there. And we're going to stick that in place. So this is what it should look like. We have one here, here, and we're going to take our third one, and you're going to go ahead and place this about here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll hold it like this so y'all can see. And I'm going to add some hot glue. And I'm just going to put a good amount of hot glue right across the center. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to stick this in place. And you're going to hold it and let it dry. So I am basically just trying to adjust it so I can make sure that's even. And that's what it looks like. So now while that's drying, I'm going to set this to the side and we're going to work on our seats. So I'm going to grab so basically what I did for my seats, and you can make your seats any design you want, but all I did was I just roughly sketched out a seat. So basically, I just made a U. And what you're going to do, once you're happy with the shape of your seat, you're just going to go ahead, cut it out. And depending on how thick you want your seat to be, you can double it if you want, or you could just leave it as is. And you're going to bring your Jeep back. And you're just going to see about what it's going to look like. And if you want to make it slimmer, you can. Or if you want to trim it down, that's fine too. It's up to you. So, set this out the way. Once you get your seat cut out, you're going to take the color felt of your choice. Now, if you want your seats to be black, like I'm going to have mine, then you want to wrap it in black felt. Or if you want to do green or whichever color you decided you want to go with, you're going to take that. You're going to take, and I'm going to grab, you're going to take your black felt. So once you have your black felt, you're just basically going to wrap this around and glue it. And then cut it out. And I've already done 2. So this is what mine look like. I went ahead and cut out my shape that I wanted, wrapped it in the felt. Then I'm going to go ahead and glue these in place. So you're going to bring your Jeep back. And this is what mine is going to look like. And I'm going to go ahead and glue them down in place. So I'm going to turn it this way. And all I'm going to do is put a little bit of hot glue across the bottom. And I'm just going to put a very little bit of hot glue right towards the back. So bottom and midway. And then we're just going to go ahead and stick that down. And you're going to do the same thing to your other one. A little bit of hot glue across the bottom and a little bit across the top. You know, I think these 2 colors together are actually really pretty. I kind of like it. I was a little hesitant at first. I didn't know if I would like it or not, but I think it turned out pretty cute. I like these 2 colors together. Let me know what you think in the comment box. So basically, I'm just going to play around with these until I'm happy with the positioning of them. That looks pretty good to me. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and work on the frame of the Jeep. I'm going to set that to the side. And when I say the frame, I mean this part right here. So what I did for the frame of my Jeep is I took some popsicle sticks and I cut the ends off just like this. I used one for reference to make sure they were the same size. And when you do that, you're going to take a little bit of hot glue. You're going to put these two together. You're going to let that dry. And then once again, you're going to take your felt and you're going to wrap it around. And you're going to do this 3 times. And once you wrap it 3 times, this is what you should end up with. You should have 3. And I'm going to turn this way. And what we're going to do, so once you get your popsicle sticks wrapped in the felt, you should have 3. And they're going to go right across here. So we're going to, and they all should be the same size. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to place these like this. And I'm just going to go ahead, use a little bit of hot glue right across here and here. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick this right up against there to give it something to hold on to. And you're going to do the same thing with the other one. So we're going to put a little bit of hot glue down across here. And then we're going to put a little bit here. And we're just going to make sure that we got everything lined up evenly. I'm going to slide this way just a hair. There we go. So now this is what you should have. And then you're going to take your 3rd piece and we're just going to go ahead and stick this in the middle just like that. But I'm going to turn it this way so I can make sure that it's not crooked. So now that you have your frame put together, this is what it should look like. So now what we're going to do is I got a piece of clear plastic and I basically just got this from a package. I don't even know if it's something that came in the mail or if it's something I picked up at Dollar Tree that had plastic on it. But it makes for a nice glass window. So I'm just going to put this in here. And then just cut off what I need to. So let's just go ahead and I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm just going to mark here. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this little bit off. And we're going to go ahead and you're going to take your hot glue and you're just going to go ahead. I'll just put this in frame. We're going to take our hot glue and we're just going to go ahead and glue our window in place. So now we got our window glued in place. So there it is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put my mirrors on. So we're going to put our little side mirrors on. I'm going to set this out of the way. So I have my 2 mirrors here and I'll show you how I made these. So basically I took, let's grab a bigger piece of cardboard. So I took my cardboard and I'm just going to cut a little piece out. Just enough to show you how I did that. And once again, all I did was drew my shape of my window on the cardboard, so I basically did this. So there's your shape. You're going to cut it out, and if you want to double it, you can. So once you cut it out, you're going to wrap that in felt as well, just like we did with the seats. And this is what we have. So what I'm going to do with these is I have it's called, I do believe this is called reflector paper. I'm not even sure where this came from. My husband came into the house with it and said, "Can you use this?" And I was like, "Yeah, probably can." So what I did was I'm going to go ahead and take a piece of it, and I'm going to take my Sharpie, and I'm just going to go ahead and trace. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and just use this as a reference, because if I trace it with the black Sharpie, then I'm going to have the black line. So I'm basically just cutting this out so I can glue this on the inside to give this the mirror look. So all I'm doing is just cutting this out. So this is what I have, and I may have to trim it down a little bit to get it to fit in. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and just trim this down to get it to fit. So once you get your piece cut out of your reflector paper, you're going to go ahead and see how it looks here. And we're going to go ahead and glue that inside our little mirror. And I'm just put a little bit of hot glue right there. Stick that up there. So now we have two mirrors. I'm going to stick this, move this, let's bring our Jeep back. And what we're going to do is decide on where we want our mirrors to sit. I'm going to do one here, which is going to be sideways. Let's see. It's going to go on like this. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm going to glue it on like this at an angle. So I'm going to just cut off a little bit of this. There we go. So now I'm just going to go ahead and stick this right here. A little bit of glue on the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick this right here. And I'm going to hold this for a little bit so it'll stick out just a little. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So, and I'm basically just trying to make sure that I get everything nice and even. And I'm just going to trim off a little bit of the felt. And let me look at this one. So, let's see. So, I'm going to put this right here. So, get a little bit of hot glue. Put that right down the middle. And I am just going to turn this, and we're just going to stick that right here. And I'm just going to turn it this way just to make sure. And this is what we have. Here is our little mirrors. Now we're going to work on our little steering wheel. So once again, what I did was I took a piece of cardboard, I traced a circle using a pill bottle lid. Okay, let me see if I can find it. So I traced a circle using a pill bottle lid onto here, and then I cut the inner circle out. And I am going to try to cover this with felt, but it's so small I don't know how much luck I would have, but I'm gonna give it a try. So I am gonna go ahead and just take my felt and wrap it around this. So now I'm just gonna continue to wrap this around my steering wheel. And I'm just bending it a little as I go. And now I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors and cut off the extra piece. And I'm just going to go in and try to cover up my edges. There we go. I'm just going to cut off this little bit and maybe put a little here. It's kind of tedious a little bit to try to fill in these little small spots, but I wanted to make sure that I get the inside of the steering wheel covered too. So I am just doing the best I can, and all I did was just went around the whole steering wheel just like this. And then I am going to take a little strip. Let's grab, and then we're just going to cover this part of it. So just going to take a little piece. Let's do it this way. I'm going to cut a little off. Stick that right across there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right down there. And I'm going to stick that there. Just like this. And I'm going to cut this off a little bit. And because I don't want my steering wheel to be all green, I am going to grab a thin piece of black. I'm sorry, I got me a piece of black felt, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to just give it a little bit of a stretch because felt stretch really easily. I'm just going to try to clean it up a little. There we have it. Clean this up a little. And then I am going to go ahead and take this and wrap it around like that. And I'm just going to stretch this just a little more to make sure that I have enough to go around my steering wheel without actually trying to cut another piece of felt. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue here. And I'm just going to start it here. And then I'm going to just go around the whole steering wheel. And we're going to end it there. Now I'm going to bring it back and we're going to see where we want to stick it. And I think this would be a good place for it. So I'm going to, and I'm not worried about doing anything to the back. I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue there. And I am going to stick it right here. Just like that. So there it is. And also, I am going to take a thin piece of cardboard. And I am going to just cut this down a little bit. Cut a little piece here. I'm going to put a little piece of green felt on here. Just like this. I'm going to stick this right down on there. I'm going to go ahead, put a little here, in here, and we're just going to pull this up and wrap it. Cut these ends off. Cut these ends off. I'm just going to clean up this end a little bit. I'm going to grab a piece. We're going to cut it here. Put a little piece of hot glue there. Stick this felt right on top. I'm going to cut this little bit back off. And I'm going to go ahead so I decided to change up one thing. Instead of doing this with all green, I'm going to take a piece of black felt, put this right on top. I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue down through here. I must take this piece of black felt and I'm just going to put that right on top of this green. And I'm just going to go and trim off the extra. This is what we should have. And we're going to put this right here. I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to put this right here. And that's going to be my little radio. So I am going to take a little bit of that green felt. And I'm just going to cover my raw ends. So we're going to stick that so the cardboard is not showing. And I'm just going to put that here. And now I'm just going to go ahead and cut off any extra. And we're going to do the same thing, which I don't really have to cut another piece. I just got to take it and pinch in. And there we have it. And now we're just going to go ahead and stick our little radio in. Hot glue on the back. And I'm going to stick this right here. Let that dry. Now, what we're going to do, I took, and this is optional, you don't have to do this part, but I like to add a lot of detail as much as possible. So, what I did was I took a wooden dowel and I wrapped it in felt. Or if you don't have a wooden dowel, you can use a pencil. Cut the ends off and you can wrap it in felt. And then you can stick it, let's see, you can stick it about right here. And then you can have a little antenna for your little Jeep. So I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue. I'm just going to put it right down, right there. And I'm just going to grab my little antenna. And we're just going to stick it here. And I'm going to hold this here for a minute to allow that time to dry. And I'm just going to make sure that it's straight. There we go. So this is what we have so far, and we are almost done. We just got one little thing to do and we'll be done. So, and that last thing that we need to do, and it's only up to you if you want to, is we're going to go ahead and add a little mirror. So what I did was, for that, is I took a jumbo or medium-sized popsicle stick, and I'm just going to take my scissors and I am going to just cut it in half. And I'm going to cut it down a little more because it's a little bigger than I want. So this is what we have. I'm just going to put that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to cut off the ends. So this is what we have. I just cut off the ends of it. So that's what we got. And so I am going to grab a piece of popsicle stick, cut it, and I'm going to cut it again. So this is what we should have. And you're going to take a part of that, of the popsicle, or the end of the popsicle stick. And this is what we should have. And we're going to go ahead and glue everything down. So once you have your pieces cut out, you're going to glue them together. And I used a Sharpie to color my back. That's why my hands are ink. But yeah, so this is what it looked like. I took the reflector tape and glued it onto my mirror that I cut out. And then I took the flat part of the popsicle stick, which would be this part here facing up, and this is how I made my little mirror. Now we're going to go ahead and bring our Jeep back and glue it in place. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue here, and we're just going to go ahead and stick that right here. And I'm just going to hold this for a minute to allow it to dry. Making sure that nothing fall. And there is our little mirror right here. So this is what it looks like. Now, if you want, and this part is optional, you can add little windshield wipers. I'm going to do that right now. So, like I was saying, if you want to make like the little windshield wipers that would go like this, what I did for that was I took a popsicle stick and I cut the ends off like this. And I very carefully took my scissors and I'm just going to split the wood like this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cut up at an angle like that. And here you have your little windshield wiper, and you want to do this twice. And once you do that, you can go ahead and paint it any color of your liking. I went with black. I just used a black Sharpie to color it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to glue those down in place. And that is it for this video. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera back up so y'all can see me. So here it is, all finished. I tried to add as much detail as I could. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you like this video, please give me a like and a thumbs up. Please feel free to share this video with your family and friends. If you are not already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to become part of my YouTube family. And before I close out, I am so sorry if this video is super long, but I like to try to take my time and give as much information and explain what I'm doing step by step instead of just rushing through the video. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you all have a nice day. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. That really means a lot, and I hope you all have a nice day. Bye.